Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. It is Wednesday, so you already know what time it is. Married at First Sight. If you are here for the first time listening, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews on different reality shows with a little bit of laughter in the mix. No, this is not an analysis of the couples because quite frankly, they all crazy. If you're back for a second or third time, then thank you for returning, and please don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button, like, comment down below, share, notification bell, all that jazz, child. Let's get into it, child. Whew. All right. Let me just take a deep breath, child. Because listen, I don't know what I was watching, okay? But it definitely was not Married at First Sight. It was definitely a different show tonight. A lot of delusions and grandeur. And a lot of damn dogs. All right. So when the episode first opens up, we're on day 32 of marriage. Virginia and Erik laying in the bed. Erik looking at her talking, morning breath included. Ryan and Claire, honey, you know they ain't never popping. Brianna and Vincent. Vincent got on his grown man robe, honey, laying down, talking and taking names, okay? And then we see Jacob vacuuming. Honey, Jacob always doing something domesticated. Hailey, do you ever lift a finger? Honey, I ain't seen you wash a dish or a plate or nothing. Child, making Jacob do all that work. So now we're on 24 days until D-Day. That's decision day. Brianna and Vincent. Bri asked if it was hard to put, the little thing that he did for her together for their anniversary with the boat and all of this. And I'm here to tell you, no, he ain't got no job, man. Vincent ain't working nowhere, honey. And whatever business he putting together, he got too much free time on his hands. He talking about, no, yeah, it was kind of hard. I mean, I had to call and get the boat, and then I had to call the chef, and then I had to find the water, and then I had to find where the boat was going to be on the water. Boy, you had to call Lifetime and ask them what time to be there. That's all you had to do, honey. You didn't set that up not a bit more than a man in the moon. And secondly, Vincent, honey, we know you ain't working nowhere. That's why you got time to set up all these surprises, honey. Y'all ain't fooling me. Now, everybody can continue to say that they feel like that Vincent has a job, but I don't think so. Vincent, do you work? Child, anyway. So then he was like, well, what was your favorite part? And she was like, when they played the video. I'm sure it is, honey, because you got to see yourself, honey. We know Bree. She loves her some Bree. Vincent said, well, I'm not hard to please, but when is the last time you took me on a boat ride? See? That's broke man behavior. Okay, because why you worrying about her taking you on a date? Didn't you say you wanted to I want to give Bree, whatever she wants. I want to have the white picket fence and a room for my son and my daughter, and I want to have a man cave with a 90-inch TV and, just whatever she wants she can have. Now you worried about her taking you on a date? See, if you're going to do something for me, please do it out of the kindness of your heart, honey. Don't come asking me for nothing in return. And when she tried to do something for you, you lost your mind. Did we forget? Child, she tried to take you to do salsa dancing lessons, and then your shirt was too tight and you exploded, both figuratively and literally. So why you want her to take you on another date? So you can get mad and put the wrong clothes on? Child, now, honey. Plan your own dates. I like it better when you plan and I show up, because the minute I plan and then we go somewhere and it ain't what you want to do, then you're going to start sweating and all that and on that big old bald head. No, thank you, honey. So then she was like, well, like I said the last time she tried, he lost his mind. So then Vincent said, she was like, well, what do you want to do? He was like, well, I want to go to Paris and France and Venice. He didn't say those things, but he might as well had. So he started saying he wants to go to LA and he wants to go to Disney World. And she was like, wait a minute, hold on. Do you want to go on trips, or are we talking about dates? And so then he was like, both. But okay, let's talk about the dates. I want to go to the cigar bar. I want to go zip line. I want to go to the aquarium. I want to ride ATVs. I want to go out to eat. I want to go here. I want to go there. Boy, have you done anything in your adult life? Why are you waiting until marriage to do everything that you should have already done? Boy, I want to go on all these dates. And she was like, I was thinking dinner and a movie. Baby. Vincent looked at her like, play with me if you want to. I'll take that bike back. Y'all know I'm crazy. Now he gonna take that bike back, child. So anyway, child, he naming all these things. Bree was just thinking, can we just Netflix and chill, child? Because I'm not trying to spend my whole engineering check to take you on these exotic dates. So then she said, and you want me to take you? Well, where you gonna take me? He said, have you heard of a place called HOME? Broke. I told y'all, honey, just go and tell the girl you work at Carvana. Talking about you're a broker of cars or whatever. Those people are brokers too. They wear that blue polo shirt with Carvana in on the side of it, honey. They bring the cars to you. Child, sitting up there talking about you a broker, a car broker. Child, ain't broke or nothing. You broke, honey. You got the first part of it right, child. Y'all just mark my word. Vincent ain't got no job, honey. Then we go over to Virginia and Erik. Honey, Virginia and Erik was acting a fool this episode, wasn't they? Child, so Erik said, was the anniversary, he said the anniversary was a success. So they laying in bed and I'm thinking everything is everything, right? So then he told her their solid foundation is all that matters. Virginia said, so the dog started jumping on the bed or whatever. And she's like, well, I've had 3 kids already. Erik said, are you going to listen to me? Dang, I mean, what is wrong with you? So then Erik is saying his dog is so well behaved. He was like, but your dog Rocky, he needs me to get him together. He needs a little bit of training because he doesn't act like Tex and this and that. And then he's not where I need him to be. She said, well, that's good because he's not your dog. Well, he is my dog now. He's half mine. I'm like, oh my goodness, child, whatever. He's like, he's half mine. Or do you want this to be over? Boy, if you give one more ultimatum, okay? I don't know what you think this is and I don't know who you think you are. But every time she disagrees with something that you want, it's either your way or the highway. In Virginia, you need to check out that ex. Because I saw that ex's Instagram. And that ex is looking like something. So I don't think that Erik just voluntarily left her. I think he was there giving her ultimatums just like he's giving you. And honey, she said, no, thank you. And she clocked out. And then he decided to mend his broken heart that he was going to go on Married at First Sight. And you are now the rebound. Now, I could be wrong, honey, but it's feeling real reboundish. I mean, this don't make no sense. So Virginia gets upset because Erik is going on a tirade or whatever. And so Virginia gets up and she leaves. So she goes outside. She's visibly upset. The producer said, what's up? Talk to me. She tells them that, we aren't in a good place right now. We got into it at the bar. And, then, Rocky came into my life at a time when I was very depressed. And she's just over it because, Erik just keeps on nitpicking about her dog. Erik inside talking about in the confessional, I hope this doesn't affect us. Boy, are you insane? Every time the girl says something you don't like, you say it's over and you talking about, I hope this doesn't affect us. Boy, you are really crazy. Anyway, 24 days until decision day. We see Clara and Ryan. Audrey comes over to do a tantric yoga. And if y'all know anything about tantric yoga, honey, it gets all in your whatnot and you got to get in your crooks and crevices with another person. Okay? So she sits down. She said, what made you want to do this? And Clara probably was thinking in her mind, I want to have sex. But she didn't say that. Clara started lying, honey. Talking about, we always wanted to do yoga together. So I just thought, why not tantric yoga? Girl, when he said yoga, he meant downward facing dog. Rise up to the sun and touch the ceiling or whatever they be saying during yoga. He did not mean put your leg near my head. Let's do a pose that looks like we're having sexuals. That's not what he meant. And you know that. But that was clever, Clara. I ain't gonna lie, honey. That was clever. So then she says, she said, well, what do you hope to get out of it? Sex. But she didn't say that. She said, well, I want to get a closeness, like a closeness we've never had before. Sex. Okay. He said, sure, retweet what she said. Shut up, Ryan. Ugh. Who talks in Twitter speak in their real life? Retweet what she said. Oh, social media is ruining y'all brains, honey. Just ignorant. So then they start with Yabyon. That's what she called it, honey. Basically, it was reverse cowboy, if you ask me. So she straddled him. And Clara, honey, it's been a while, so it took her a while to saddle up. Okay? It took her a while. Oh, Clara, she's so rusty, she could barely position herself, child. So then she gave them another pose. And Ryan was up there joking to my, do you want to look at this, do a staring contest? Shut up, little uncomfortable boy. Right now is not the time to be playing these games, honey. She's trying to see if she can feel an erection or not. And judging from them shorts, honey, I didn't see nothing poking. So, Clara, it's looking like a lost cause, okay? It's looking like a lost cause. I'm just telling you right now, honey, Ryan don't even look like he want to. Child, okay. So, Ryan said tantric yoga has further developed their connection. We shall see. Claire said this did nothing to bring her together sexually. Clara is over it. Ryan said it developed them and it developed a connection. Clara said, baby, ain't nothing popping. It still ain't popping, okay? And show wasn't poking, honey. That's what she wanted to say. Then we go over to Virginia and Erik. Virginia comes back in, honey, and gets right in the bed, honey, after she done been all outside during the COVID-19, honey, all up in the producers' faces, and says she doesn't like pretending that they are good and they're not. And I respected that because when we see Erik, all we hear are the Lakes are the best. You know, we loved each other upon inception. I mean, as soon as we said I do, I mean, I couldn't imagine my life without her. Honey, you couldn't imagine your life without that ex either because I saw her. And I saw those pictures. She still got your pictures up, honey. You can't fool me, but whatever, child. He said, I think we are. Because she said, you know, we're not good. He said, I think we are. They flash back, honey. Erik acting a fool after a drunken night. Erik is a fake. I told y'all that Erik was a fake. Then Virginia said he was looking for her and he couldn't find her. So Erik said, I couldn't find you for like 45 minutes. She said, well, he's like, I'm trying to protect you. And then she's like, you think it's protection, but it's controlling. And it is. She is an adult. Honey, I'm sure she wasn't going to run off with nobody knowing you were in the place. Child, what is wrong with you? He said, you know, okay, I'll try to do better. She said, yeah, but it's different when you're drunk. I believe you, Virginia. I believe you. He said, so then they show, you know, exactly what happened that night. And then they go back and they do that little flashback. So he says to her, I don't give a F. I don't care. If you don't like it, you can get out of it. Virginia's poor face looked I looked at y'all. Virginia's poor face looked so distraught. She was visibly shaken. Erik said, you know, she has a wall up and it's just not fair. I'm always getting hurt. I'm just always getting hurt. Gaslighting her. Virginia said, I'm having anxiety. He's still sitting up there with his woe is me stuff. So he tries to touch her and she's like, no. She yanks away from him like, don't touch me. So then Virginia says, you know what? I just want to go home. So she starts telling him that she feels like she's being changed. She's like, I can't go see my cats. I haven't seen my friends. I can't talk to my friends. I can't go anywhere. Girl, you better get out of there, honey. Erik is controlling you. And I said that. And there were some people in the comments saying, Erik isn't controlling Virginia. He's just the more mature one. Honey, ain't nothing mature about you getting drunk and cussing me out. There's nothing mature about every 5 minutes when I say something that you don't agree with, trying to go directly to the demise of the relationship. When you mention divorce in a marriage, honey, that is a recipe for disaster. That is something a person never forgets. So y'all can argue with your mamas down in the comments, honey, because I'm telling you right now, Erik is controlling. So he tried to touch her. She jerked away. So she was telling him all the things that he's changed about her. So she said, I get it. You're perfect. He said, you know, if you don't like it. She said, if you say I can go, I will punch you in your face. I'm like, oh, honey. And she ain't had a drink yet either. You better leave her alone. And he just looking at her because I know he got a little nervous too. Instead of him stopping because she's visibly shaking, he continues his thoughts. He said, if you don't like it, you are free to do what you want with your life. Oh, my gosh, honey. Oh, my goodness. Where are all the people that said she should live in his home? By show of hands down in the comment, who said that Virginia should move into his home? When I told y'all that the reason why she didn't want to move into his home because Erik was controlling. And can you imagine the minute she doesn't clean the toilets like he wants or put something on the counter that he doesn't want there? If you don't want to abide by the rules in my home, then you can go. I can just hear it now. Honey, nobody want to go through that. Child, he likes to be in positions of control, honey. The only thing you better control is that airplane. Honey, don't try to control me. Child, you better control that cockpit. Child, oh my goodness. Now we see Hailey and Jacob. Hailey sitting on the couch in her Adidas, honey. Compliments of the 80s. If you're unsure, Hailey, honey, check out Run DMC, my Adidas. Oh, crazy girl. Always talking about Jacob in the 80s and you sitting up here wearing 80s attire every time I turn on the episode. Had that hat on last episode. So she talks about yesterday and Jacob said they needed to have that talk. Basically, I needed to check you because you were playing in my face. That's what he wanted to say. She said, I thought it was better. You know, I thought it would have been better and I just didn't expect that. And Jacob was looking like, okay. So he said, well, it was how I was feeling. But the way I lashed out, I apologize. Jacob, I appreciate the fact that, you know, whenever you go off the deep end because Hailey always acting like she's so sensitive and so timid, and everything you say just upsets her soul. You always come back and apologize, so I can appreciate it. Okay. So she said, well, I'm emotionally drained. Honey, how you think he feel? You're not attracted to him. You don't want to sleep in the bed with him. He always cleaning, cooking, and sewing. Honey, and then you tried to play dress up with him. Girl, I'm talking about you emotionally drained. Girl, go ahead on. So then she said, do you plan on having another fight with me? He said, no. Hailey said, can we have some light fun? Jacob said, maybe for a few hours a week we can have some lighthearted conversation. I'm like, okay. Now we're doing a little compromising, a little bit of give and take. Then he said, your hair looks nice. I was like, oh, this was the perfect opportunity for you to say, thank you. You look nice today too, or something. Honey, you just... thanks. Oh, flat face heifer. And then they're sitting a little closer, so that's a good sign. And she had actually laughed at one of his jokes, honey, one of his Jacob jokes of the day. It actually landed. So I mean, we're making a little progress here. I can see this episode is a little bit of progress. Then we go over to Paige, and this part pissed me off because her brother and his wife walk in, and the wife with her edges missing, honey. Bad wigs must run in the family. And the reason why this pissed me off because where have y'all been? Okay, we've been sitting up here looking for y'all. It's almost decision day, and Paige gonna be back in that bad wig, sitting next to Chris, undecided on decision day. But that's not the point. Where have you been? You let a man treat your sister like this? You got a whole brother. Child, let's continue. So Paige tells them that Chris wanted a divorce and to get back with that ex. Paige said, I've never had... Here come the Yin Yang Twins with the whisper song. Hey, how you doing, little mama? Let me whisper. Yeah, tell you a little something. Paige, pick your voice up. Always whispering and going on. Well, he said, I've never had rejection like this. At least he could have left a note on the door saying I'm thinking about you. Something. Girl, that boy ain't gonna leave no note on the door. He don't even want to text. He don't even want to pick up the phone. Now he's saying it's you that don't want to pick up the phone. I'm confused. Girl, whatever. So she was telling him she came in a whole person and he tried to break her, but he couldn't. So the brother said, you know what? You tried. You shot your shot. It didn't work. And so then he said, you need to embrace the struggle. So then in the end, you appreciate the reward. Honey, this family loves to talk in inspirational quotes. Tell her the real. You better leave this child. I was about to call this boy something. Leave this stupid ogre alone. Okay? And if I see him in the street, it's going to be on, honey. That's the kind of brother I got. I don't know what everybody else got, but I got a pookie in them, honey, and they're not going to play about me. Paige's brother should have told her, I don't know why you went on here to begin with. I told you when you sit in the backyard with mama in that bad wig on if this wasn't going to work. But now, Paige got to do what Paige wants to do. Now you're sitting here and we eating out of these to-go containers in this makeshift apartment that it put you in, and you're not even in here with your husband. Child, I told you this wasn't going to work. So he gives her some kind of inspirational something. And he said, this is the beginning. Imagine your 30s and your 40s, man. It's no rush. Okay, about time somebody told her something. Paige starts looking at the camera, saying whatever it is that she's saying, sounding like a Hallmark card. Child, I barely listen to Paige anymore. Let's move forward. Then we see Ryan and Claire yet again. Ryan asked if she was ready for her 3-day trip. I guess, Claire is finally getting back into the friendly skies. She's a flight attendant. Ryan said, I wanted to do a training class with Miska. Every time I hear that name, I think of Miska, Muska, Mickey Mouse. That's because I have a small child, so... Every time I hear that name, I just think about the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. But anyway, he said he wanted to do a training class with Miska. So he's like, do I have your permission? Okay, Erik, listen up. Now, Ryan is an idiot, honey, and it's going to get more, the idiocracy is going to come out a little bit more as we go on through the review. I want y'all to stay with me. But do you see how his approach was different from yours? Your approach was Tex knows how to act. Rocky loses his damn mind. I'm going to take Rocky somewhere to get him some training because he don't know how to act. Ryan, on the other hand, said, I want to spend a little time to get our communication going. Is that okay with you? Do I have permission? She was more receptive to the idea because of the way he asked. Boy, you are not Virginia's daddy. Oh, weirdo. Anyway, I thought Chris was the only weirdo. Child, you a little weirdo too, honey. And I'm about to start going in on you until decision day. I don't like the way you treating Virginia over there. So then he asked her permission. She said, well, what do you want to work on? He said, I want to learn to navigate her. Clara said, it's funny he wants to navigate Miska, but doesn't want to navigate me. I know that's right, honey. That navigation is turned completely off, child. GPS signal lost, honey. That's what they say when the navigation turns off on your phone. GPS signal lost. Ryan don't want nothing to do with it, child. Nothing. She asked, well, after we did the tantric yoga, did you feel anything new? Any sensations, vibrations, gyrations, honey? Something with his shuns on the end of it. He said, oh, no, not really. Oh, my gosh. Boy, this girl was grinding on top of you with her private areas meeting your private areas, and you didn't feel not nothing. Clara, if this does not tell you what you need to know, honey, I don't know what will. He said, Clara is only focused on one thing. I want a connection. Clara is dead set on seeing what that thing can do. She is. But to her defense, you are married. So I feel like at this point, you should have at least done it once. It's been a month in. It's almost decision day. So you want to take her all the way through decision day, and then she tests the goods afterwards, and then she's upset, honey, and got to pay all kinds of money to get out this marriage? No, ma'am. Honey, let Lifetime pay for that. She wants to see it now. The time is now, Ryan. Child, you good and crazy. So he was like, she wants it. She's focused on one thing, and I want a connection. And Clara, let me speak directly to you, honey. You have on a fleece jacket. I don't know how cold it is in that apartment, but you have a full-on fleece jacket in the bed. That ain't gonna turn nobody on either, honey. Let Paige teach you how to open up them double doors and come out in something cute, honey. Chris might not have been attracted to her, but she did have a little cute whatnots on, honey, and made him do something in the bedroom at night. I'm just saying, honey, you might want to go talk to Paige over there. Because Ryan ain't budging. I'm just telling you right now. He said no sex in the champagne room, child. Ryan needs to get his libido checked. Because something ain't right, child. 23 days into decision day. Child, listen. No, they didn't dedicate this segment to Scooby-Doo and the gang. Honey, this whole segment was about the men and the dogs. And had enough nerve to put them side by side. Vincent and Cookie. Vincent said he has never been a dog person, but she is a great dog, and he could see them bonding. Sophie and Jacob. Chloe wants to fight every damn dog she see. Honey, Jacob can't control her, just like he can't control Hailey. He said he needs to work on his child, on his dog, want to fight everybody that he sees, child. Miska and Ryan. Ryan says there was an instant connection. They asked, how are he and Clara alike? He said, they want attention. These people. I can't stand Lifetime. I really cannot. Child, I'm going to be so happy when this is over. This is ridiculous. Rocky. I can't even say it with a straight face. Child, let me get my serious face on. Child, I play all day. Rocky and Erik. Erik said if he trains the dogs, here you go again. Erik says if he trains the dogs good, he can show her how he will be as a dad. Boy, don't nobody want you showing them how you will be as a dad. You ain't gonna even let the girl get a baby a bottle. Oh my gosh, you have to breastfeed. Well, I'm not getting any milk. Well, let me show you how, because my mom, she breastfed me, so it clearly can be done. Honey, nobody wants you to be no daddy, honey. No, thank you. Bentley and Chris. Chris looks like Bentley, so he said, I don't give up about Bentley. Oh my goodness. Rin Tin Tin, we don't give up about you. How about that? Then we go back over to Hailey and Jacob. They go to K1 Speed. They're trying to get their lightheartedness on. Jake said he wanted to do a cheesy and fun, a fun date. He wants to do those type of things with his wife. Hailey says she always thought that she would have fun with her husband. So Jacob was trying to knock some sense into Hailey's head by bumping her with that car, because when they first started, honey, Jacob was a little aggressive with the bumping of the cars and all. But they went around and about. Hailey won. It was really cute. She got her little trophy, and they put a little ribbon around her neck. They sit down at the table, honey. Jacob got his blue blockers on, honey. Listen out there, folks in TV land, get you some glasses there, sweeping the land. Remember what I said, because I'm a hip hopper. Yeah, go get you some blue blockers. That's all I could think of when I seen Jacob in them shades, honey. He got his hater blockers on. So they're finally having some fun. Jacob said maybe next time they can do batting cages. And I'm like, oh, that's cute. Okay. She was smiling. And I think the fact that he saw her happy made him happy. And he was, he wanted to look cool. So he has little blue blockers on. And she was looking how she was looking. Okay. Now we go over to Chris in his apartment. Child, I thought we was getting, anyway. His mom, Cindy Lou Who, honey, because she reminds me of Horton Hears a Who. She comes in and says, hey, big guy. Hey, big guy. You mean, hey, little missy? Honey, he had them ripped jeans on yet again. Talking about, hey, big guy. Hey, little missy. Child. He tells his mom, things. She's like, well, how are things going? He's like, things aren't going good. Ugh. She was like, well, how's Paige? She's such a sweet girl. Oh, is she? Because when you were sitting at that table, you told her that her son had to be inebriated when he had sex with her. How quickly we forget. Girl, you're just as crazy as your son. And where's that old disgusting daddy of his? Anyway, he tells her, she doesn't answer my calls or anything. His mom said, rightfully so. Your ex is pregnant. And Chris said, well, had I known, I wouldn't have even married her. Well, now here's your opportunity to get lost, okay? And ain't nobody gonna miss you. So go ahead on and go on about your business. So then he said, kid or no kid, that book is closed. Because I asked her for a divorce. His mom, oh, wow. Girl, that's all you got to say? And then she said, well, I understand. He said, you know me. When I'm done, I'm done. Oh, yeah, we know she didn't raise you right is what you should say. Child, she's sitting over there looking and eating her shrimp scampi while you sitting up here making a fool out of this girl on national TV. The mom said, I'm sad, but I'm not shocked. I'm glad that they're, going ahead and getting a divorce now instead of being together and wasting each other's time. She said she knew the chances he was taking when he married her at first sight. Child, y'all are crazy. Anyway, Chris looking dumb and responds in kind by saying, yeah, ugh. Two stupid dogs, child. Let's move forward. Since the theme is dogs, Bree and Vincent, they're going bike riding. I'm like, okay, Vincent, you got on another tight shirt. I hope this one is okay for you because riding a bike is sometimes uncomfortable. It's probably hot outside. You got this tight shirt. Let's just get through it. Vincent and his tight shirt, they jet off, honey. He better not fall off that bike and scrape his knee because if he does, it's going to be a whole problem. I just get so on edge when I see Vincent. I hope we can make it to decision day without any more hiccups, but I just don't feel like any more tantrums. So they're riding, and so then they decide to do a little race. And Bree said, where are we racing? He said, over the hill. She said, if I win, I get $500. He said, oh, hell no. He said, I was thinking like I was going to ask you for $1,000. I'm sure you were because you work at Carvana. You ain't got no job, man. Listen. Every time y'all see Vincent on the screen, from here to decision day, I want y'all to act like Martin and say, you ain't got no job, man, honey. Just call him Tommy, bald head and all. Anyway, so then she was like, okay, if I win, then you have to clean the kitchen for a week. He was like, okay, cool. He was like, and if I win, then you have to do 10 push-ups. And she was like, okay. So they were, he let her get a head start, and that was cute. Because at first I was thinking, girl, don't you let him lose this race, because you don't want no problems back at the house. But he let her win. He kept a brave face, and I was like, that's cute. But she decided to compromise and do push-ups anyway. Oh, that's sweet. Then we go back over to Virginia and Erik, honey. It's still on, child. They still arguing. They've been arguing the whole episode now. At least Chris and Paige give us a little break, honey. Virginia and Erik said, no. Y'all wanted us to go? Here we go. Virginia said, and, an argument doesn't mean the end, honey. Maybe not for you, but definitely for Erik. She said that in her confessional. She asked him, how are you feeling? He said, I don't understand what I did. Ugh. You're so delusional. He's like, I've been in enough relationships to know exactly how things go. And when things start to get this way, then it's a little hectic. Yeah, because you know everything. You know how to train dogs. You know how to be in a relationship. You don't know how to keep that ex, but we ain't talking about that. Okay, and clearly you don't know how to communicate. But you will say that you know how because you're perfect. Child, it's that mama's fault. I told y'all in some reviews back, I think it was like review number 2 or 3 or something like that. When I saw her kiss him and the way that he interacted with his mom, I thought of Norman Bates and I thought of the mama at that hotel and how he acted, and it's the mom's fault. Okay. Virginia said her anxiety takes over and she's sorry she pushed it on him. And she said, it's much harder, than I thought. He said he understands and he's going to get a little better at it. Delusional. He said, I hope it gets better in the end. She said, why did you say the end? He said, after your wall is down. The dog comes over and tries to get in his lap and he's like, get down, get down. Child, and then Erik starts again with the how great Tex is versus Rocky. Virginia said, you act like Tex is God's gift to dogs. And then Erik said, how are we going to have kids if we can't talk about the dog? He said, let me help you. She's my, and then, so Virginia said, she's my dog. And Erik was like, well, Erik is trying to talk to her about the dog and she's getting frustrated. And so is he. So Virginia says she doesn't like the way he's talking to Rocky versus how he talks to Tex because it's totally different. Then Virginia loses it, honey. The producers come over. The producers say, what's wrong? She says, okay, he's trained one effing dog. He acts like he's a trainer. He's not a trainer, honey. Virginia has had it up to here. She is done, honey. It's really getting on her nerves. Then we hear Erik saying, because this is when he goes off into the background where no one can hear him because he pretends to be perfect on camera. Then we hear Erik saying, you ruined it. I'm done. You've been an a-hole to every person involved today. And she's like, so you're putting the blame on everything on me again. He said, it's you. I'm effing done with it. I'm done. He said, well, some days I feel like it's not going to work. You think? Child, that's why that ex got away from you. I know it is. Honey, I need to interview her. I need to talk to her. 22 days until decision day. Bree and Virginia and Paige meet up. Bree asks how they are, and then Paige said, oh, I'm great. I feel like I could have walked away sooner in the process, as you should have. Virginia says she's glad, I'm glad that Paige walked away. Child, let's move on past Paige. Paige says she lost herself and she should be finding out what she really wants. And then she started with all this Hallmark stuff, honey. Anywho, Bree said, well, before I wanted certain things, but Vincent is exactly what I need. Then Paige says, Bree is a testament that it actually works. Girl, anyway. Paige asked Virginia, and she said her anxiety is at an all-time high. And so she said, normally I talk through things calmly. She said there's still so much that I need to hash out. And, she's having some problems with her mental health. And she feels she needs to get a therapist to actually help her with that. So Paige goes, yeah, I have 2 therapists. Girl, what? It's 2 people offering you advice on your mental state after dealing with Chris? Honey, or was this beforehand? Because either way, the money needs to be refunded, honey. Call the Medicaid people or whatever you use, honey, and tell them you need the money back ASAP. Child, what? Anyway, she's like, I'm happy for Virginia. And then Bree shares that she also went to a therapist before she got married to Vincent just to figure out what she needed to do for herself. Honey, Erik needs to go. And so does Ryan. And so does Claire. Listen, we need a group session. A group therapy session, like some real therapists, honey, because I don't know what Mr. Pibb or Dr. Sprite or whatever her name is. Dr. Pepper, honey, I don't know where she been. Somewhere fizzling down in Vegas. Honey, Dr. Viviana wearing her tight body skin dresses ain't doing nothing. Pastor Cal, honey, it's only so much praying a parishioner can do. Child, I don't have time for this. Anyway, we're back over to Hailey and Jacob making dinner. I'm like, oh, okay. So she's making Brussels sprouts and he's over there cutting up a mountain of meat. So Jake asked her what she rates herself as a cook. She says, probably a strong 6. He said, okay, I understand that. So then he said, do you wear an apron? She said, no. He said, well, if you wore an apron, you could probably level up. You would probably be a solid 8. Boom, boom. We got our Jacob joke of the day. Then he talks about his dating life. So he was like, we need to put down some placemats. And she's like, for what? To eat on, little dirty girl. So he was like, one of my exes, she cut up like a 12-pack of Coke in the box and she used those for like the placemats or whatever. And she was like, well, tell me a little bit more about your relationships and your dating life. And he said, well, most of my relationships didn't have any drama except one lady he dated. He called her the pumpkin lady. So they sit down, they start eating. Jacob was eating his mountain of meat. Jacob, your stomach gonna be knotted up, honey. Ooh, she had salmon and Brussels sprouts. I'm like, okay. So I could see that Hailey was trying to beat this episode. It only took a month. And Jacob going off on her for her to try. But she is trying. So Jacob, she was trying to talk to you this episode, honey. And you was acting like you didn't want to be bothered. Hailey said, well, do you have any questions for me? He said, because y'all know he eating his steak. What's the last concert you went to? She said, Pearl Jam. He said, I'm not a fan. Oh, Jacob. 21 days until decision day. This is ridiculous. Brianna and Vincent and Jacob and Hailey go on a double date in a pumpkin patch, might I add. Remember, I just told y'all about the pumpkin lady. How ironic. Child, Vincent finally showed up to something. Child, Chris gonna be mad at Vincent. Now, what we gonna have to look forward to this week now, I want y'all to keep an eye out. All my people that send me my DMs letting me know what's all doing. Y'all know Chris is about to post something about Vincent being disloyal. These was ain't loyal. Y'all already know, honey, because he don't like nobody that like Jacob. Hailey tells Bree, at their 1 month that they got into it, she says she feels like it's a one-way street. She feels like she is interviewing him. Then they go over to her telling him about Thailand. And she's like, yeah, we got massages and everything like every day. We got our nails done. And then Jacob goes, oh, I guess we're going to have to do some deep cleaning on Sunday. Jacob. Jacob, now the girl is trying to talk to you. Bree said they're always trying to get to know each other, her and Vincent. And so Jake and Hailey talked about how they went out and stayed out till 4 a.m. when they got back together. And Bree said, oh, so y'all have happy moments. Bree, don't try to be shady, honey, acting like you and Vincent perfect, okay? Honey, I caught that shade. And Hailey was like, yeah. Well, Hailey probably wanted to say, girl, don't start. Bree talks to Jacob, off to the side and tells him that Hailey is attracted to him, but doesn't like his personality or doesn't get his personality. And I'm like, I could have sworn Hailey told us she didn't want to be bothered with Jacob and she was not attracted to him. But okay, y'all would know more than us. Jacob says she doesn't get his jokes because he's talking to Bree. And then Vincent is on the other side talking to Hailey. Child, poor Brianna and Vincent, child, talking to these people, but it's like pulling teeth, both with Jacob and Hailey just nodding and smiling. Child, maybe have sex one more time in real life and see what happens. I don't know at this point, honey. I'm just trying to pull out anything. Maybe if y'all have sex uninebriated, and then y'all could see if maybe something might spark, honey. I don't know, child. Oh, so now we're back over to Virginia and Erik. They're making dinner. Erik said last night, their conversation took a turn and he was like, normally we're good. No, y'all are not. Normally you're faking. But now Virginia doesn't want to do that anymore. Honey, your cover has been blown. Oh, crazy boy. Still sitting up here talking about normally we're good. He said it's a two-way street and he's trying to figure her out. No, you're not. You're trying to tell her what you want her to think. You're giving her her thoughts. These are your opinions, Virginia. Either go with them or get out. That's what you're doing. Talking about I'm trying to figure it out. Well, whatever. Erik says he wants to talk because he loves her so much, but she's going to have to step it up. Back to what you need and want, huh? Virginia said she wants to know what's wrong because he always says he's fine, but he doesn't appear fine. He said, if I'm ever not fine, I definitely tell you. She said, I don't believe you. And I don't believe you either, honey. Us out here in TV land, we don't believe you either. Virginia says she has a problem letting people help her after being independent for so long. And I can understand that. And I think that's partially Hailey's problem too, because she been single since she was 2. So it was like straight out the birth canal, had a little boyfriend at the daycare and never had another relationship. And then here come Jacob and the DeLorean. So that's kind of what's going on with Hailey as well, honey. These experts was just throwing together COVID couples and pushing y'all on out there on the conveyor belt, honey. This is ridiculous. Virginia says, she has a problem with letting people help her. Oh, Virginia, you got to lay off that liquor too, because I was looking at your face in this scene, honey. You starting to get little craters, honey, like crater face. We got to lay off. We got to detox. We need to get us a good chemical peel. We need to start seeing an esthetician. You're too young to be looking like that. Now, I'm starting to like you. You're starting to become my favorite girl on the show, woman on the show, but we got to get that skin together. So he said, well, I can tell she's trying, and in this moment, I could just really tell. Shut up, Erik. So she said she has a lot to figure out before decision day. Virginia needs to get AA and a therapist. Stat. Honey, let's get those 2 things going because you're using alcohol to mask your feelings and the alcohol is making your anxiety worse. Neither one of y'all ready for marriage, honey. None of y'all. None. Okay, I'm just going to say none. Now we're 20 days until decision day. We're back over at Clara and Ryan. Dr. Pepper done peeped her head in. Finally, girl. Out there in Vegas, all on the craps table. And we need you down here figuring out what's going on with these couples. Trying to give a little spiel. Honey, I ain't even listening to Dr. Pepper. I went and got me a Coca-Cola. Honey, y'all know how I do during maths, honey. Ryan goes over to visit Erik with the other guys. Honey, Ryan embraced Erik more than he does Clara. Did y'all see that hug Ryan leaned in and gave Erik? I'm like, okay, I'm watching you, honey. I'm watching you. The guy started talking about the dogs. Ugh. Child, a room full of dogs talking about the dogs. Erik starts talking about Rocky, saying he's crazy, just like Virginia. The fact that you compared your wife to a dog, okay, that's it. So there's that, honey. He said Rocky does things when he is around a lot of other people, and he just starts jumping on him and he tries to bite the people. And okay, Erik. Virginia doesn't let him help because it's only her dog. It's your delivery. But then Jacob came in the clutch. Jacob said, sometimes you can overtrain a dog and maybe she just wants the dog to be a dog. Jacob! Baby, you better say that, honey. You better check Erik with logic, honey. He's a dog. Child, oh my goodness. Ryan says, Clara thinks I'm messy, because I hang up most of my clothes and then the rest of them, I just fold them up and I put them up. Oh, child. Anyway, Ryan says, you need to have give and take. And then this is where Ryan lost his mind. He goes to the confessional and Ryan says, Jacob and Hailey are having a tough time, but I'm doing a great job at being a husband. Probably better than 99% of all the husbands that have ever been on Married at First Sight. Ryan, I'm finna hit you with your own Beavis and Butthead saying, sure, sure. Are you crazy? Child, I don't know if you need to cut the other piece of that hair, and I don't know what. Child, listen, all of y'all delusional. And Ryan, you are definitely nuts. If you think you are better than 99% of all the husbands that have ever graced the Married at First Sight stage. Child, you just as crazy. Now we back over to Ryan and Clara. Back over to their picture perfect marriage, honey, because Ryan is better than 99% of the other men, yet he's never had sex probably ever in life, honey. You can't pick up on the cues that your wife is giving you that she's completely miserable and ready to jump off that plane during her 3-day trip. You're not picking up on any of that, honey. You got a bigger connection with Erik and the dog than you do your own wife. Take that back. We're over to Ryan and Clara. Clara asks how it went. Ryan tells Clara that the way he trains Miska has helped him to train, has helped him to get a little closer to her. Clara says, I'm trying to see if there's anything I wouldn't trust you with. Honey, judging from that yoga, I wouldn't trust him with my vagina. And I'm just telling you straight up, honey, because he look like he ain't gonna know what to do with the child. That's what you cannot trust him with. Ryan says, well, what's missing is our shared experiences. Yes, sharing your bodies. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I know you ain't talking about that. Crazy behind. Ryan says he feels that they both have made concessions for each other's feelings. He said his trust is earned and they have built trust by considering how they do things when they go to the grocery store or when they walk the dogs. Baby, Clara was looking like, mother, are you serious? Clara, listen. Now, I'm not going to keep on going off on Ryan if you ain't going to speak your speech, honey, if you're not going to pipe up and let him know exactly what it is. You need to tell Ryan straight up, I don't like that haircut. It's stupid, okay? I'm going to need your beard to not look like pubic hair, and I'm going to need it to connect, okay? And you didn't even get swole up when I was laying on your lap during tantric yoga. Are you attracted to me or nah? Honey, don't quite say it so hood, but just say, I'm not happy. Are you seeing that? Are you catching that? We have terrible moments of awkward silence. We barely even converse. And honey, I'm happy when you're gone so I can handle my business. Child, crazy behind. Then we see Clara over with the girls, child. Clara going off. I don't know what the F he is waiting for. I don't understand it. I'm getting him off every night. We're doing everything else. He thinks it's supposed to be rose petals and fairy tales, but I'm not getting taken care of. Everybody else just sitting around looking, honey, because Paige thinking, honey, at least Chris slept with me, child. At least I got some foot in the game, okay? Hailey thinking, I did do the one and done with Jacob, so we good. And Bree thinking, honey, Vincent won't get off of me because he ain't got work in the morning. Clara, listen. If you ain't gonna pipe up and you ain't gonna say nothing, then shut up, girl. I don't want to hear it, child. Tell him what it is. I don't think y'all gonna make it past decision day because you are unhappy. And I think that you equate him not having sex to you or sex with you to what you went through in that previous relationship where you said it was 3 years and y'all would barely have sex. Girl, what is going on with you that these men don't want to lay it down, honey? I'm gonna put it down. She gonna fall in love. Like, why don't they want to put it down? I don't understand. Child, that was pretty much it. That's the whole episode, child. This was a mess. Honey, I was bored at some points. I didn't know what was going on. Half the time I would come back, have to rewind it, trying to get myself together. But I gave y'all what I could, and y'all know I bring y'all what I can each and every review. I thank you so much for listening, honey. Please don't hesitate to join me for my live on Friday night where we get together and we vent about all the mess. I do have another video that I am dropping probably tomorrow. It has to do with Broccoli Head, aka BMW, aka him and that ex. Y'all know all the names I like to call him. Thank you so much. Share this video with a friend. Don't forget to comment down below. I will get down there and comment with you. Oh, and just to add this, lately people have been telling me that their comments have been deleted. I am not doing that. I read each and every comment. I have no problem with opposing views. I do not want you to think that on this channel, if you don't agree with me like Erik, we're one and done. No, ma'am, Pam, or no, sir. I'm not Erik. I'm Misha. I do not mind listening to each one of your comments, but YouTube does not want me to be great, and they are deleting them. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm trying to get it resolved, so we shall see. As always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.